Today's episode, we're going to be answering your questions. Tippy put out a little feeler about get to know me, get to know us, get to know her. Nobody really cares about me.
That's fine.
But yeah, let's get to it. We met in college, honestly. We were both business majors and we both joined the same organization. She was in there before me, but she kind of recruited me into the process too.
Yeah, I saw Ryan signing up for our arch nemesis, and I said, nope, not gonna happen on my watch. And I was at the recruitment table, and he was walking over to our table, and I said, hey, I saw that you're interested in joining an organization. Want to check us out? And that's how we met initially. We both were in completely separate relationships. We were just friends starting out. And you know, one night Ryan was drunk at a party and confessed his undying love to me.
That's how she likes to remember it. But that's when, you know, we started to like each other a little bit. And then we started hanging out a lot. And we hang out on campus till 4 in the morning, just kind of talking, and it was insane. And then I'd have to get up and go to work.
Your internship.
In 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was intense.
I'll go first. I know the answer to this one.
I'm already scared.
Okay, so in college, Ryan had this ceramic donkey. This donkey had a name, had a Facebook, had a girlfriend. Oh my goodness. And this donkey was wild. Oh my goodness. And so Ryan brought this donkey around everywhere. And I should say this donkey's name is Albert Esteban Wyatt. But he only went by Esteban. You know, he was suave. He was Ryan's alter ego. And I kid you not, this made me question his sanity. I wondered if he was sane, and I wondered if he really wanted to be Esteban, because Esteban went stage diving. Esteban was like always drunk. He was always drinking. He was always macking on the ladies, like things like that. I'm like, whoa, this kid is living his best life. But he became kind of like our mascot for our business fraternity, and he was around a lot. And that was a really funny time. So you're probably wondering, where's Esteban now?
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Esteban.
Rest in pieces is more appropriate.
Yeah, Ryan's ass got broken.
Yeah.
He's got broken.
Sad day.
Yeah, it was a sad day. We tried to repair him with some glue, and he just wasn't the same. His bones weren't strong enough to make it, and partying got the best of him, and he broke again, and
had to say goodbye.
You were pretty sad.
Yeah. Okay. The first time I took Tippy to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, it was an American Thanksgiving style, right? And we got the norm there. You got the turkey, you got the green bean casserole, you got the yams, the candied yams, all this stuff. And it's kind of self-serve, so we're all going through and we're getting the food. And Tippy comes up to the candied yams, and she goes, "What is this?" And my mother, she didn't mean it like anything, but she goes, "You never had candied yams?" And Tippy goes, "No, why would you put these marshmallows on yams? They're already sweet." And so blew my mother's mind that she had never had candied yams.
You know, candied yams, they look funny when you really look at them, you know? They have these little burnt marshmallows on top, on orange. It just looks funny. And to me, I didn't grow up with a whole lot of sweets, so I was just mind blown that Americans would have something sweet and then add in brown sugar, honey, butter, and marshmallows. I mean, mind blown, right?
Yeah, that's a Thanksgiving only thing.
Yeah. So Ryan has introduced me to a lot of Americanized culture, I would have to say. I honestly, truly don't even remember a first date. But if I had to pick a first date, it would be what Ryan was referring to. We were on campus at the business school, talking until literally 4 o'clock in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and Ryan would have to go to his internship at 8. That, I would say, was our first date. Like, we didn't eat out or anything like that. We just talked. I know it sounds really strange, but we never looked at the clock. We just said, let's just have a good time and let's just talk about this and that, and that's it. That was pretty much our first date.
And then like the next day would be another date, and then the next day, it was cool. It was what you would want it to be, where you're in the process of falling in love and you're connecting very deeply with somebody, and you don't want the date to end, so it like didn't end. To like start seeing rays of the sun coming up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
And then you would look at your phone and be like, okay, I gotta go shower so that way I could go to my internship. And that was when our date ended. It was really cute.
It's intense.
I would say date someone that is like-minded like you. It's really easy to be attracted to the opposite. And a lot of times it works out in dating, but as far as long-term marriage, I feel like maybe that'll clash after a while and go old after a while, but date someone that has the same ambition as you and same drive as you, because I know quite a bit of people that want to start a business. The other one's like about security and keeping it safe, and it really clashes long term. So if you have the same drive, same ambition and life goals, perspective and things like that, I would say go for someone like that, because it's really hard to get into something and think you're going to change somebody, because that rarely happens.
I would say have two different things that you're doing. Always be working on something for yourself, no matter what it is, some kind of passion project where it won't bother you if you're not getting paid. But also have your day job. You got to have really two things that you're working on. Otherwise, really, you're going to be working for the man forever.
And it's really rare that you have a job that you're passionate about and it's also your job too, right? It's really rare right out of college. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do until you can do what you want to do.
Here's what you do to get over your fear. You think about what is the absolute worst thing that's going to happen. Like, for example, you start a business. Say you have $1,000 and you try to start a business. Well, the worst thing that could happen is what? You lose the $1,000? I mean, is that something that you can live with? Is life gonna end as you know it if that happens? Let's say that you risk even more. Let's say you risk $100,000 and you lose your home. Can you rent a place? Can you get another job and still be able to make it? Is it going to kill you? Basically, that's the question. Almost everything is recoverable. And when you think about the absolute worst scenario, the chances of that worst scenario is that happen is just very minuscule, right? But if you accept that, yes, if the worst happens, I can get by and we can make it through, then that's it. It's like, okay, well, let's just take a shot, because if the worst happens, we'll still make it.
What he just explained was fear setting. So fear set, and that's what it is. Like, write down the worst possible thing that could happen. Okay, it's not that bad when you really look at it. And you still have yourself, you still have your health, and if you really, really, truly want it in life, you're gonna get up and you're gonna try again. Because failure, I don't even really believe in failure 100%, because if you learn something from it, you didn't really fail. You just get back up and you just do it again, because that's what you want and that's what you really want. People that don't get up and they don't try again, it's because they didn't really want it. You gotta figure out how to go around that wall if you really, really want it. And that's how it happens. And when you fail your first time, like when we have failed many times, right? When we fail, we're just like, okay, yeah, that sucks. It hurts a little bit, a blow to the ego, but you get back up again and you just do it again because you're smarter and you know what to expect this time. So the more you do it, the more you fail, the more confidence you gain along the way.
4 years.
I waited for him to say it because I wanted to know if he knew.
Of course I'm gonna get it right. Come on.
4 years.
I think that it helps that we're competitive with each other. So if I raise the bar for myself, Tippy's gonna look at that and be like, oh, I'm gonna step it up a little bit more too. And if she does that, I'm definitely gonna do that as well. I think that competition, it plays a big part of this.
But a good competition. A good competition where we both mutually benefit from it. Ryan still to today, he tries to impress me, believe it or not. And so he keeps things fresh that way. He's like, I gotta impress you. I gotta stay on my game. And I do the same thing too. I don't wanna let myself go and things like that. So I wanna make sure that, you know, we're keeping it fresh, we're keeping it sexy for each other as much as we can. You gotta preserve the sexy. That's what I really wanna say. Ooh, a good question.
I'm gonna go ahead and answer this one. Ben & Jerry's. I've always been a Ben & Jerry's fan. I think that their ice cream is just awesome. I bounce around between the different flavors. It's not something that I eat all the time. It's usually a rare treat for me, but yeah, it's gotta be Ben & Jerry's.
Yeah, I don't have a loyal brand. Ryan's more the ice cream guy than I am, but as far as flavor goes, I really enjoy anything with nuts. So pralines, anything along those lines, I really like. I'm more on the vanilla side than I am on the chocolate side.
I forced her to do it.
I was forced. No, Ryan suggested that I start a YouTube channel. He's like, yeah, I think that it'd be cool that you start a YouTube channel, and I think you're pretty interesting, and maybe we should give it a go. I was like, okay, well, let's try it out. And we tossed around a lot of different ideas on what we wanted our channel to be, but ultimately we wanted a space where you can come to and you can feel good after you leave in some sort of way, whether it inspires you, it entertains you, it informs you, any of those things. And we wanted to be starting out with health, because we feel like your best life starts out with good health, and we'll venture into other things along the lines, but for now, that's where we're at with that.
So my favorite thing about Tippy is her kind of charisma when it comes to dealing with other people. She's always been very charming, very good at talking to people, which is something that I lag behind. My least favorite thing about Tippy, she snores. She snores loud and a lot. Like, you would think that I would be the snorer in the relationship. No. We're talking about like this, like head back. Like that kind of snoring. In fact, we'll be laying there, sometimes I'll be trying to sleep, and I gotta like roll her to the side gently, and she'll just kind of like shuffle over there. But man, I can't even sleep if she's snoring.
Always being honest, no matter what. I love that about Ryan. Like, if I'm wearing something that he doesn't really like, he's gonna tell me. He's not gonna be that guy that's gonna say, you look great, babe. He's be like, what are you wearing?
I'll say,
Yeah.
That's the ugliest coat I've ever seen in my life.
He's said that before. He has said that before. And I'm like, what? This is fashion. He's like, well, that fashion needs to die. I'm like, whoa. But he's very honest and very direct, and I appreciate that about him. So if I ask, you know, a question, I know I'm gonna get 100% the truth, right? Least favorite thing about him. You know, I really get annoyed when he answers my question with a question. You do that a lot. Sometimes I'm just like,
I
hey.
only do that for clarification purposes so I can answer the question better.
Yeah, like when I ask him, hey, what do you think of this? And he'll say, well, what do you think of it? I'm like, are you kidding me? I asked you for your opinion. You're asking me for my opinion? Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm getting myself heated up.
Question with a question.
Yes. I think it's gonna have to come down to communication. I think communication is just one of those things in any relationship, not just in marriage, where you never get there. It's not a destination. You know, you're like, I'm there, this is it, I stop communicating. No, it's just constantly communicating, and sometimes I think I'm communicating well, and then Ryan doesn't understand or doesn't pick up on it, and it challenges me to be a better communicator.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off of that, and I'll say communication style. My style is direct. I say what I mean. I don't kind of beat around the bush with anything.
No.
I'm a typical guy, but this is what I think. Boom. That can come off as rude, gruff, kind of insensitive, and it's not that I intend it that way. That's just my style. and then I expect to be spoken to directly too. Sometimes if Tippy is like beating him around the bush or talking about this or that, I'm like, what's the point? What are you talking about? Just spit it out, you know? I'm annoyed, and then my annoyance tone translates to, well, I can't talk to you right now, you know, and it just kind of like escalates like that. So I would say communication style.
5'6".
I'm 6'2". We were thinking like maybe South Africa because it's a continent we've never been to.
Yeah.
Also, we've kicked around South America. We don't know until we're looking for plane tickets. Like, we could really go here for cheap, or there's a really good flight for that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you travel, the airfare is just such a huge obstacle. So I always look for deals, and that kind of helps determine where we're gonna go.
Ooh, that's hard.
It's not hard. The salmon mok, because it's something that I had never had before, and it just blew my mind. When they were making this stuff and I was the taste tester, this one was the winner for me. I just loved like the spice, the dill, you know, all the different flavors that just really infused into it. It's just making me salivate right now because I'm pretty hungry anyway.
For me, I think it's gonna have to be the ribeye lap. I love ribeye. I'm a ribeye girl all the way. I actually did a recipe video on it. I'll put it up in the info box here. But man, it just is so tasty. And it's got like, you know, all the herbs, the flavoring, the seasoning. And I love a good juicy ribeye. So I'm gonna have to go with the ribeye lap.
We're gonna have to shut this video off and go eat.
Ryan's a great cook. There's so many things that you do and you do well.
Thank you.
But I think that it's not keto, but it is the first thing that is coming to mind is your twice baked potato. I love your twice baked potato. It's one of the things that he did in the very beginning of our relationship, and he's perfected it. And he puts his little secret sauce in there. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's twice baked potato. He's made it a few times for my family, and we all are like, man, this is so good.
I think that my favorite meal that Tippy makes is called Lao Boat. It's kind of like a pho, but she really knocks it out of the park. It's like this broth reduction from these bones, and you got all these herbs and spices in there, and I mean, it just like warms your soul from the inside out. So I would say that's my favorite.
Yeah, and it's in our cookbook too.
Oh yeah, it is in the cookbook.
I personally gave up alcohol last year. It's been about a year since I've been sober. I don't drink alcohol. It just was a personal choice of mine. I've been wrestling it for a few years, and I just decided to pull the plug last year, and yeah, I don't drink alcohol.
I don't drink a lot. When I drink, I haven't been drunk in years. And I'm okay with that. I mean, my drinking days were in college, and those days are behind me, you know, and now that I'm older, I just can't recover, you know? Like,
yeah.
there's a heavy price to pay now if I get drunk. So if I did drink, you know, maybe, you know, a couple times a week, and it wouldn't be much, and maybe be a couple glasses of wine, but that's it. I mean, not heavy drinkers at all. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
so
sure.
here we go. So now here's a couple. I don't know what pictures we're gonna put up here,
sure.
but there are pictures on the screen right now, and we'll pick some good ones.
Yeah.
Some throwbacks.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been together what, 8 years? 9 years?
2011. So 8 years.
8 years. Yeah. So I mean, we definitely got some pictures of us. When I was more concerned with her happiness than my happiness. Like, I was always very self-centered, very concerned about what I was gonna do. But when I met Tippy, it started to change. You know, I was like, well, what's gonna make her happier? You know, which was very odd for me, but I think that was the turning point. Do it. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we did. We eloped. We went down to Cancun. We had a killer deal at a resort, and it was just the two of us, and it was very romantic, very intimate, and we didn't have to worry about all the guests, right? A lot of times when you're getting married, everything is for everybody else, and you don't really get to enjoy it, and you're stressed out. That was not the case with us. It was the most relaxing wedding day that I think that has ever happened in history. And so, and it was beautiful, and we saved so much money just doing that. Treating ourselves down there, just the two of us, was way cheaper than any kind of compromised solution that we tried to find in the States. And we looked in the States, and everything was just like, it was either gonna be too much, or wasn't gonna be big enough, or it was too far, and it was just something. And we're like, you know what? Let's just go do this. It was perfect. So do it, definitely.
As far as heavy into the traditions and everything like that, I wouldn't say I am. I am heavy into the food. I definitely enjoy Laotian food, and it's one of those things where if I go a week without it, I really miss it. I mean, that's a little bit too long for me. I really love Laotian cuisine. But as far as Ryan getting, into the culture, I would say he's definitely into the food.
Yeah, I'm definitely into the food too. I think there are definitely cultural differences as well. Like the relationship with your parents is a big one. Lao parents versus American parents. This is a huge divergence. So that's taken some adaptation for me. Also, the community of the Lao culture, that was also strange. Everybody was much more tight-knit, everybody knew each other, everybody knew each other's business, and I'm like, this is weird, because in white people land where I came from, like, that's not the way it was, right? It was like, you mind your own business. So I think that there's definitely been some challenges that I've overcome, but nothing really surprises me anymore, and now I just kind of accept it for what it is and like it all the same. Sugar. I am a sugar addict. It's just something that I've always struggled with my entire life. And the problem is that the sugar leads to binge eating, right? If I eat sugar, guess what I want more? Sugar. And then I want more everything. It's just like this trigger for me that I just gotta, I try really hard to not eat any sugar. I try to avoid anything sweet as well. Even though those are like my favorite things, but the slope is just too slippery for me personally, so I just do my best to abstain.
I don't know, it's probably gonna be noodles. I love noodles, I love Asian food, and it's gonna be the carbs, but I don't think I really struggle with it. I think if I could have something every day and not feel the consequences of it, probably be noodles and rice.
Motivation is only short term, so you're not going to be able to use motivation to accomplish long-term goals. What you need to be doing is using that motivation to build discipline, because discipline is a long-term characteristic that will carry you through any time that you lose motivation. It's just something that you do. You build that into your routine. Getting up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym or whatever it is. Whatever you set your mind to, it's just establishing the pattern. Don't think about it like, I'm gonna go to the gym today because I wanna look hot. I'm gonna get up, instead it needs to be, I'm gonna get up and go to the gym so that way I can build that habit. And once you get that habit, then it's easier to just maintain the habit, which is gonna be your discipline to achieve those goals. So think about it in 3 steps instead of 2.
Well, we do quite a bit of things. As far as myself, we do own an e-commerce beauty business, iconalashes.com. I have the cookbook, YouTube, and we're working on another project here, but yeah, pretty much online business.
I work on all of that stuff, plus I have a day job as well. So I actually work for a software company. I do implementation services, customer success, that type of stuff for them.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't do that. I mean, we're in Sacramento, so I don't want anybody to have to travel too far, but we are going to be in Austin. And I know that this is, keto is a big deal in Austin, so hopefully we'll see quite a few of you there.
Yeah, but as far as like meetups in the future, we're not opposed to it. Maybe we'll organize something, but as of right now, it's not like a priority. But that sounds like a lot of fun. We love connecting with you, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to look into making it happen. So we're not opposed to it. Thank you.
Maybe because we like each other? You're
Yeah.
alright.
I think we're friends before we are lovers, and I think that that's really important in a relationship, is that you like the other person. Yeah, you may love a lot of people in life, but you may not like them. I know that if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But I really like hanging out with Ryan, like as a friend, and I think that that shows.
Probably about a year and a half. I think it just took me time to picture my life forever with her. You know, I did a lot of evaluation. I was very analytical about it. It wasn't like just this blinding love of emotion. I'm just gonna jump in no matter what the other factors were, you know? So I thought about it, and then, you know, I started to imagine my life with her versus without her, right? And there was a lot more ups with her, for sure. Getting to know her family, her habits, her good side, her bad side. You know, I had to really feel comfortable with the decision. And then I didn't propose for longer because, you know, I didn't have money for a ring. I was broke. It took a while, but I knew that I was gonna propose probably about a year and a half in, I guess. You're just gonna have to wait and see. The Amazing Race.
That's my answer. That's my answer.
That's my answer.
That's our answer. Maybe you'll see us on it one day, traveling around the world.
Pick us.
Pick us for $1 million.
Pick out.
We just have to apply. Why not?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I don't know why we haven't applied, but maybe we will. This could be our audition video right here.
Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up our Get to Know Us video. Thank you so much for watching it. We really appreciate it. What question did you enjoy the most? I mean, we answered a lot of them on here, but if you have additional questions down in the comments, we'll be happy to answer those. Of course, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most importantly, hit that notification bell. It's the only way to guarantee that you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.
All right, as always, guys, we're gonna sign off with some love and some gratitude. We had so much fun here, and we'll see you next time on the next Tippy Tales.